And until I finally realized that, through doing this program, that I actually pushed her to that limit because I was just not hearing out what she wanted and what she wanted for the kids, what she wanted, for our relationship.
Mm.
That's what she had to do in order for her to get what she wanted. And now, like the last 3 weeks now going on four, has been the best that we've been at in terms of communicating, conversations.
Jonathan, we'll jump over to you, brother.
Hey, hey, mate. Um, oh, look, I just wanted to share that, how difficult and how hard I made things with my wife. That it took her to take me to custody battle, court, lawyers, everything. Like when I first jumped on, that's what I was sharing, that I'm going through all these court battles and that now. But
Mm.
I came to realize that, and if this is going to help, Renee, that I did make it difficult. I did focus on what I wanted. I focused only on what my needs were. And until I finally realized that, through doing this program, that I actually pushed her to that limit because I was just not hearing out what she wanted and what she wanted for the kids, what she wanted, for our relationship.
Mm.
That's what she had to do in order for her to get what she wanted. And now, like the last 3 weeks now going on four, has been the best that we've been at in terms of communicating, conversations. Just the Saturday night was the first time that we actually went out by ourselves and had a meal together. And it's just so positive now and so healthy. But that's because I've got to that point where I've realized that everything that I was doing was basically what I wanted, not taking into account what her needs were and what she wanted. And that's why I am where I am now, is because I have stopped making things so difficult. And I realized I was making it difficult because I was just worrying about what I wanted out of it. And I was just trying to justify everything that I wanted. I thought, blaming her. I've come to that realization of, just looking at myself, working on myself. The man in the mirror. Like I've really had to go look at that guy in the mirror and go, man, I did bring a lot of pain and hurt, into our relationship. And now, over the weekend, we were talking about, the whole custody battle and all of that. And now she's at a point where she wants to go and talk to her lawyers and kind of put a halt to this
Mm.
whole process now, because 5 months ago, where she was 5 months ago, it didn't look like I was gonna change or take into account what she wanted. So I totally understand, that when we make things so difficult, we're actually just gonna keep pushing them and pushing them and pushing them, until they get whatever it is that they want. So I'm just grateful that there's even that chance there now, that she's even thinking about ringing her lawyers and going, you know what, I think things are going fine. How can we put a bit of a stop to this, because we're coming up to, like, where we're working together, trying to work out what works for her. She's more understanding about like my needs as well, what I want. And I guess the biggest thing for me is I want to try and work things out with her outside of the court system, because it's just so draining, expensive. Um, and the truth is, I feel like that's just so negative for me and her and our kids.
Mm,
So I guess the reason why I'm sharing is because, yeah, I understand what it's like to make things difficult for our wives, and then at the same time we're pushing them so far to the point where until we finally click and until we finally come to our own senses that it's our actions that's pushing them towards that, is then when we can start, trying to work that out. So, yeah, and I guess the biggest thing for me that I struggle with is being patient. Although I'm having all these positive, healthy communication, relationship going out, blah, 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 the other side of me just wants to be fixed or changed or everything's okay. So I guess that's the battle for me now, is just trying to hold on to being patient.
mm,
Um, still focusing on the little things, like the positive things, which is she's spending time with the kids, I'm spending time with the kids, we're all spending time together as a family. But I guess I'm just at that place too where I'm just like, this is just part of that process that I have to go through, um, in order to get, the result that I'm really after. But yeah, a lot of it is just myself. For me, is just having a really good. I've had a really good look at myself in order for what I need to change in my behavior. She hasn't mentioned once the changes that she sees in me. She hasn't mentioned that. But I guess her way of telling me that she sees these changes with me and the kids and her is the communication we're having now, is the time we're spending together. I feel like, oh well, then if I don't hear it from her that she's saying it, I guess I take that as a positive, that well, she's speaking to me more. We're spending a little bit more time. She's feels more comfortable coming around home. She feels more comfortable around me. Was the first time we ever rode in a car together for a long time on Saturday night. So I feel like those little things like that, it's slowly coming to that place where she feels a bit more safe around me. So I just wanted to share that yeah, I did push my wife to that because I just made things so difficult. But then the only reason I'm in a better place now is because I've just chose to stop making things so difficult and just making things so easy for her. And then I've managed to get to that point where she's kind of hearing me out and understand like what my needs and what I would like. But then I'm very careful too about what I say, how I say it, when to say it. Certain topics to talk about. Like we were meant to talk about the harder topics on Saturday night, but we ended up just having such a good night that we were like, we both kind of agreed that, oh, look, I think we can just focus on the things that we need to focus on, which is the kids are spending more time together. So yeah, I just wanted to share that
thank
with the
you.
fellas as well. Is that now I made things very difficult for my, and it pushed it all the way to the courts and lawyers, and yeah, now I'm trying to wheel that all back and just trying to be patient with it. So yeah.
Thank you, Jonathan.